The San Francisco 49ers are no strangers to the big game. They've played in a lot of them, and they've won most of them. Joe Montana back in 1981 hit Dwight Clark for the catch to win the NFC title game. Big name players with big performances have brought the 49ers great success in the big game. They played in 5 Super Bowls. They've won 5 Super Bowls. But in the big game for San Francisco last year in the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers upset the 49ers in convincing fashion. They meet again tonight in the Green Bay setting that Steve Young knows will be special.
You go to Lambeau Field on grass in Titletown on a Monday night against the Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, and all the titles and the history of both teams. I mean, seriously, when you take the field, you got a sense of something very, very electric going on.
The big game, the biggest game so far this season, is moments away. The 49ers and the Packers on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Forces in Green Bay. Well, it's Monday night and we're ready to strike. Our special forces are in full flight. 2 NFL powers are coming your way. San Francisco invades Green Bay. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. The Niners and Packers will be slamming tonight. So get ready. About for Monday night.
Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, jam-packed, a partisan crowd. It will be noisy and rocking tonight. So much of the NFL's history wrapped around this stadium. And tonight, the San Francisco 49ers come to town for Monday Night Football.
So the crowd working its way into a frenzy. The Green Bay Packers, who performed so brilliantly last week against Chicago. The last time we saw them on a Monday night, they blew away the Philadelphia Eagles week 2, and we are ready for action from Lambeau Field with Craig Hentrich to kick it off for Green Bay. And Terrell Owens back deep to receive, along with Dexter Carter for San Francisco. And the big one from Wisconsin is underway. Dexter Carter fields at the 4, and an open field tackle made at the 19 by Travis Jervey. And there's a marker down on the play up at the 28-yard line. So Jerry Markwright's crew will get busy right off the bat. And when Jerry Markwright referees a game, it's normally an important game. He's reffed 4 Super Bowls.
Illegal block, number 86, on the return, half the distance to the goal, first down.
The rookie Sean Manuel. Elvis Gerbach out of Michigan, drafted in the 8th round in 1993. Brent Jones, their number 1 tight end, is injured. He has a shoulder injury, and he's gone tonight and probably for another month or so, as Tommy Vardell picks up 2 out to the 11-yard line. Second down and 8 from the 11-yard line. Gerbach looking one way, then the other, and dumps it off for Vardell. And Vardell picks up the first down all the way out to the 33-yard line, caught there by Mike Pryor and applauded by Steve Young after a 22-yard pickup.
What an addition Vardell has been for the 49ers. Came as a unrestricted free agent from Baltimore and has really added a lot to this offense. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. He's a good runner. He's a very heady player. They wanted him when he came out of Stanford 5 years ago and lost him to Cleveland in the draft. But this is what he can do for you. He's a very heads-up player. Good in this offense.
He is their second leading receiver, second to Rice. That was his 20th grab of the year. Short drop, high throw, and only Rice can make a play like that. Plucks it down with one hand, takes it out to the 45. First down, tackled by Newsome, 12-yard gain.
Mike Holmgren started off yesterday saying we cannot allow Jerry Rice to get off the line of scrimmage. He is jammed immediately in the line by Craig Newsome. He fights through it, loses the football, and still has the ability to get back and control it. It seems that no matter what you try to do to stop Jerry Rice, it just doesn't work.
Thought we'd seen everything from Rice.
From the 45-yard line, this is Kirby going nowhere. Penetrates or tries to penetrate the middle of the line and runs right into Brian Williams, the linebacker. We talked about Brent Jones injured his shoulder in practice a couple of weeks ago. They'll take a look at him next week. He hopes to be able to practice in a couple of weeks and be back in a month.
There's a handoff to Kirby. He works well out of the backfield. Of course, he came over from Miami in a trade this year. Had a big day against the Rams a week ago. Over 130 yards of total offense, and he starts tonight.
2nd and 10. Here's Kirby looking for room, picking and threading his way up to the 50-yard line. And with Kirby getting the start tonight, I mentioned at the top a sea change. In effect, the 49ers not saying so, but Derek Lavelle had done the job last year, had performed okay, had been doing a pretty good job this year, but clearly Seifert and the staff wants Kirby to be the guy from now on. And there is Derek Lavelle.
And what they also are hoping to get is more production from their offensive line. When they lost to the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs last year, they got roughed up front. This is a real test for the 49er offensive line.
3rd and 5 against only a 3-man rush, so they drop 8 into coverage, and it's whistle dead. No play here as Butler is able to make the tackle. Tommy Vardell took it at the 50, and at the 49-yard line, they are going to say an interception. There's a question mark right now. We'll discuss it.
An official came in late and did show that it was Green Bay's ball.
All right, well, Jerry's saying an official timeout, but the question is whose football at this point?
Here's a look at it from behind the pile. That's Tommy Vardell, number 44. You're going to see that the ball's just sitting on his back. Leroy Butler very alertly knows it never touched the ground. It's still in play. Packer football.
Butler's 5th interception of the season, and Green Bay's first offensive play is an Edgar Bennett sweep that goes nowhere. Lee Woodall makes the stop. Robert Brooks, and we'll detail his situation in a moment as he was helped from the field. Don Beebe takes his place. It is 2nd down and 10 from the 49, and Brett Favre throws, and it's caught by William Henderson, the fullback, who takes it to the 42. It'll be 3rd and 3. Gary Plummer makes the tackle. Let's take a look at what happened to Brooks.
It's just very innocently, he's blocking on Tyrone Drakeford, who pulls Brooks. He gets his right leg way out in front of him like that and lands kind of awkwardly, and as Al mentioned, carried from the field, which is indicative of some type of a major problem to his legs.
2nd time in 3 weeks, Brooks has been hurt early on. He suffered a concussion at Seattle 2 weeks ago. 3rd and 3. Favre with a deep drop, scrambles, seeks a first down, and comes up short. He goes down short of the marker. Brian Young is there to stop him at the 40-yard line, and the Packers have a 4th and 1, 4.5 minutes into the game.
He wants to know how far. You're saying 4th and 1, but how long is that 1 before Mike Holmgren will make that decision whether or not they'll punt or go for it? It does appear they are going to go for it.
Or at least line up for it.
Line up, maybe try to draw the offside. Now they send out the punting unit.
Yeah, it's over a yard with the nose of the ball on the 40, and they'd have to get inside the 39.
Against a very disciplined defensive football team, that would be very surprising if they would jump off sides. Pretty well schooled in that respect.
So Craig Hentrick to punt it, and he floats it down to the 15-yard line, and it hops backward out to the 18. Last November, when the 49ers got real hot, Gerbach led them to a win against Dallas, and then in a Monday night game at Miami, look at those numbers. 31 of 41, 382 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So He was a big-time primetime performer the last time we saw him on Monday night. Now he starts from the 18-yard line, and the pass is incomplete. Rice reaching out with one hand, couldn't grab it, and the news on Brooks is bad. Sprained knee, will not be back tonight.
It almost looked, Dan, like he could have hyperextended it as he came off the line of scrimmage even.
Well, there's a very good sign of the seriousness of it. They've got the air cast on it, completely immobilizing his right leg. So, right here, watch him throw his right there. He got it way out in front of him, landed on it awkwardly with all of his weight.
2nd and 10, and Tommy Vardell takes it up to the 20-yard line. The 49ers have it 3rd and 8 from the 20-yard line. And Gerbach hangs in the pocket, then throws, and it is picked off at the 44-yard line and then ruled incomplete. Eugene Robinson, who has more interceptions than any other active player at 44, couldn't hang on for Fritz Shurmur's defensive unit. Just barely misses career pick number 45, and the Niners to punt.
Gerbach now has missed on 2 receivers that have been very open. This one totally overthrown, as you can see, just trapped by Robinson. Green Bay almost coming up with their 20th interception of the season. That's just remarkable.
You know something's not right when the receiver's not even in the picture.
Tommy Thompson to punt it. Desmond Howard over to get it at the 39-yard line. And is downed at that spot. Beautiful shot of Lambeau Field as the Packers have it for the 2nd time at their 38-yard line. No score, 8:42 left in the quarter, and Favre hands it to Edgar Bennett, and Bennett gets gang tackled up at the 40-yard line by that swarming Niner defense led by the former Viking Roy Barker. And number 97, Brian Young, who is emerging and may be playing as well as any defensive tackle in the league right now.
Well, a wonderful matchup to watch tonight are these 2 gifted defensive tackles of the 49ers. Bryant Young, 97, Dana Stumblefield right next to him, number 94, as they work against Aaron Taylor, Frank Winters, and Adam Timmerman, the 2 guards in the center for the Packers.
2nd and 8, a double tight end set for Green Bay. Favre going deep, and he has Keith Jackson. And he takes it to the 10-yard line. And so the big tight end who burned the Niners in that playoff game burns them again early, 50 yards.
Well, Keith Jackson cannot be covered, even as swift as Ken Norton Jr. is, by the linebacker. And it was a good read by Favre. Start first for Green Bay by giving Favre a lot of protection. They give him all the time he needs to pick out Jackson. Norton tries to run with him, forget it. Jackson is a big man, but he is very swift. Good read by Favre. Great execution.
Green Bay's, San Francisco rather, their defensive philosophy has always been to take the outside guys away. The problem is that leaves the middle of the field with no safety. Very evident there, no safety cost them a lot.
1st and goal, the nose right on the 10-yard line, and Favre gets spun around and sacked. Roy Barker with the initial penetration. So it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, where the field gets short, as you guys know, one of your best assets is your tight end, and the Green Bay Packers have 2 All-Pros.
Draw on 2nd and goal, and that's Dorsey Levens picking up just a couple, setting up a 3rd and goal. Tim McDonald comes up to stop him. Holmgren checking out the script now.
Keith Jackson coming in tonight had 12 receptions. He now has 13, but of those 12 receptions prior to tonight, 6 of them were for touchdowns. So you know where Favre is looking. Of course, with Robert Brooks out of the lineup, that would change the necessity of the coverage for the 49ers. But Beebe is in there. He's not the threat of wide receiver. The Brooks is. So they can help out on the tight end a little easier.
Split back set, 3rd down and goal. They throw it underneath to Jackson coming back to make the catch. And he can only get to the 12-yard line. So they had a 1st and goal at the 10, and now they're 4th and goal at the 12. And in comes Chris Jackie to attempt about a 30-yard field goal.
That was just a high percentage effort, hoping that Jackson could break a tackle and possibly get to the 1st down, but they were not going to risk coming away from this red zone without putting some points on the board, so they bring out Jackie.
Yarder, Craig Hentrick to hold it. And Chris Jackie to bang it through. Lambeau Field in Green Bay. We hadn't been here for 10 years for a Monday night game. Came in week 2. Big night for the Packers as they rip the Eagles. And tonight, Green Bay, once again on Monday Night Football. We'll see them at Dallas in another appearance coming up in November. Huge game. Craig Hendricks kickoff winds up 2 yards into the end zone. Dexter Carter to run it out and brings it back out to the 22-yard line. Tackled there by Lamont Hollenquist. So Steve Young paces the sideline. Steve injured his groin the second week of the season against the Rams. Did play against Carolina in a game they lost and hasn't played the last 2 weeks. First 2 possessions for the Niners. The interception by Butler. And then 3 and out.
And the 3 and out was a near interception by Eugene Robinson.
Gerbach is 2 of 5 for 34 yards thus far, and goes to the air here and throws, and Jerry Rice makes the catch, and he's run out of bounds by Doug Evans after a pickup of 5.
Interesting philosophy tonight on the Green Bay defense. Last January, when they beat the 49ers 27-17, they forced 4 turnovers. They had 3 sacks of Steve Young. They scored on a fumbled reception in the first quarter. Just totally disrupted their offense. Tonight, they're doing not any kind of blitzing whatsoever to speak of. They're stunning linemen, defensive linemen, Dan, but it's a pretty straightforward defense by the Packers tonight.
Second down. 4. Kirby on a flea flicker. Gerbach all the way back inside the 10 and then just throws it away because Leroy Butler penetrated.
Just when I said that, they come with the safety blitz and totally disrupted that flea flicker. Gerbach wanted to go deep, trying to get, I think, to J.J. Stokes, but Butler on the safety blitz. He'll come from right of your screen, number 36. There's the flip back. Now you need time for this to develop. Butler was right in Gerbach's face, so he just had to get rid of it. Great time to have that call.
3rd and 4 now from the 28. 4:29 left in the opening quarter. Green Bay leading 3-0. And Gerbach on 3rd and 4 going very deep, and that is picked off by Eugene Robinson. Career interception number 45. The play is dead. The play is dead at the 32-yard line. Green Bay ball at the 32.
And the trade for Eugene Robinson from Seattle has really paid off for the Pack this year. He is the quarterback back there. And what a superb leaping interception this was.
Just too much air under this ball from Elvis Gerbach. It gives too much time for Robinson. It's far too much to the inside of the field. And J.J. Stokes, number 83, gets a hand right there on the ankle of Robinson, and that makes it a dead play at that stop. But Elvis Gerbach has been all over this field with the football. Unfortunately for the 49ers, not where he should be.
Now Edgar Bennett picks up about 3 with 4:16 to go in the opening quarter. The Niners, as you look at J.J. Stokes, had given the ball up only 3 times in 20 quarters this season, and now they've coughed it up twice, both on picks in the first quarter, and Green Bay now has 20 interceptions this season.
Yeah, that is truly remarkable. They've had those at least 1 interception in the first quarter of every game coming into tonight, and now they have 2.
Second and 8 from the 34. Barker can't get far, and Brett throws on the run, and it's Don Beebe who gets free and makes the catch and is out of bounds at the 12. Burns, Merton, Hanks.
Well, I don't know whether it's Hanks, Al. Hanks might have been helping somebody out.
Well,
There was just a screw up in the defense, and I think it was probably they were thinking Favre was maybe going to pull it down and run with it, but there is a little check at the line of scrimmage. That's Drakeford,
but I think it's a too-deep zone. Drakeford lets him go, and Hanks, for some reason, he sees Favre on the move. I don't know if he thought Brett was going to be corralled by the defense, but Merton clearly lets him go, Frank.
I think Drakeford feels I've got containment here. Hanks has got to pick up on Beebe, though, and Beebe Well, he stepped out of bounds. That could have been 6 so easily.
Well, Merton Hanks has a deep outside all the way.
54-yard pickup. Favre under pressure. It's deflected and incomplete. It might have hit the umpire. And umpires have been in the line of fire all weekend. The umpire is Chad Brown, no relation to the Pittsburgh linebacker.
Yeah,
Brown in the middle of the action.
He had a monster game last week, didn't he? I think you're right. I think it did hit umpire Brown. Watch him right there on the left part of your screen, right on the edge.
Well, this offense, as a lot of the West Coast offense in general, calls for a lot of crossing underneath. More and more of that umpire is getting into a very fragile area. They do a lot of underneath crossing, and they throw a lot of passes over the middle now.
2nd and 10 from the 12. Good protection up front. Gun toward the end zone and broken up by McDonald. Don Beebe, the intended recipient. 3rd and 10.
This baby had some smoke on it. It had more than Tim McDonald could handle. Great look at it coming right at you, and McDonald had to make a high leap to his outside, just couldn't get it under control. Again, a 3rd and long situation. Can the 49ers hold one more time and force the Packers into a field goal?
3rd and 10, Green Bay up 3-0 late in the first quarter. Niners jump, where they induced. Flag down. Chris Dolman came across. Favre applauds, and that would indicate it's against San Francisco, clearly.
And Dolman not complaining.
Number 56, defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Something like that happens, Dan. It usually means that Dolman is watching Favre going on the same count several times in a row, and he figures he's going to jump with him.
Boy, Brett gave it a good one. Yeah. You saw his head and shoulders really move with the effort that he put into that hunt. Boy, the 49ers, they need this badly.
3rd down 5 from the 7. Favre throws underneath and low and incomplete. Trying to get it to William Henderson, the fullback, covered by Gary Plummer, and they'll have to settle for a Chris Jackie field goal attempt again.
Well, it was 2 mistakes by the 49ers defense that allowed Mike Holmgren's Packers to get into this situation, but once they got their back to the goal line, twice now they have come up very big in forcing Jackie to kick. This might end up being a 6-0 game after this field goal. It could be 14-0 very easily.
25-yard attempt. Earlier he made one from 30, and this one is just inside the right upright. The 49er defense has stiffened twice, limiting Green Bay to a pair of field goals, 6-0. With the Packers on top, the Packers have outgained the Niners in the quarter 115-49, thanks mainly to those 2 long passes.
Well, it is time for somebody on the 49ers other than their defense to get it going here. Either a big play on the special teams or that guy right there, Elvis Grbac.
Well, if you know Steve Young, you know how desperately he wants to be in this game. He is such a competitor. This is killing him.
Craig Hentrick to kick it off. Comes down into the arms of Dexter Carter, who takes it from the 6. Back up to the 25-yard line, and the flag comes in at the end. Lamont Hollandquist in on the tackle.
We're going to see a lot of confrontations tonight, in the sense that the 49ers feel that the reason that they lost is that they were roughed up by the Packers in that playoff loss, that they lost the battle of being physical.
Illegal blocked in the back. Number 99 on the return. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
They were roughed up, Dan.
And they were. So there's George Stewart, their new special teams coach. But all week long out in San Francisco, the talk has been, we must be physical. We can't get pushed around. And what happens is there's normally a lot of fighting and a lot of pushing and shoving. You can see we've got an injured Packer down on the field. It's Corey Dowden. Certainly there is the block from behind. And you can see rolls right into the back of Dowden's legs.
Penalty on David Benefield. And Corey gets up and They'll walk him over to the Green Bay sideline with 2:49 remaining in the opening quarter. Elvis Grbac leading the 49er offense, their fourth possession. George Seifert with a little bit of gamesmanship, not announcing officially his starting quarterback until about 15 minutes before the game. But in talking to all of the people around the 49ers, it was pretty clear for a few days that Grbac was going to be the guy tonight.
Could it be that he was doing that for Mike Holmgren? Probably. Let him think about who's going to start, a right-hander or left-hander.
From the 15-yard line, this is Kirby, and when we asked Holmgren last night,
There we go again. There we go again. That's George Kuntz, number 53, the Packer middle linebacker. He's involved in a scrape. But it's inevitable. Anytime a team talks about being physical, the other team reads about that that's what they're going to try to do, and it's a case where the gauntlet's been thrown.
Well, Kuntz is a physical player, period. A very emotional player, and a very unlikely starter this year for Green Bay at the middle linebacking spot.
Well, George,
by Atlanta a few years ago, and really an overachiever and has become very successful.
2nd and 9, and Vardell can't get started. It'll be 3rd down and 10 as Jesse Sapolo got rammed back into Tommy Vardell. We started to mention last night, talking to Holmgren, asking Mike how he prepared for this game. He said they basically prepared for Young. And I think he predicated that more on Steve and how much Steve wanted to play, as opposed to believing anything he heard or had read about Young's condition.
well, being left-handed and having the movement that he has, you have to prepare for Steve Young. Elvis Grbac, a more conventional quarterback. Not a great movement guy. He's going to be in the pocket.
3rd down and 10. Grbac stepping up, floats one, and that's tipped and incomplete up at the 32-yard line. J.J. Stokes, the intended receiver, hit by Eugene Robinson as the ball arrived. 4th down.
Oh, and Grbac just did get that off. There is some heavy-duty hitting going on there at the line of scrimmage. You touched on it, Dan. Their tempers are right on the boiling point.
Well, as we found out a couple weeks ago, as did the Philadelphia Eagles, a game can get away from you in a hurry here at Lambeau Field, and right now the 49ers are real close to having a big problem.
Tommy Thompson to punt. The Heisman winner from 91, Desmond Howard, calls for a fair catch after a 36-yard boot to the 49-yard line.
Now we've got another flag, guys. George Seifert's all the way out on the field trying to pull his guys out of there. A flag came in late on that little play. There it is over on the sideline.
Little gamesmanship, I think, going on between Seifert and Mike Holmgren, who used to coach for him. There's Mike.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team on number 37. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Tyrone Williams, the rookie cornerback from Nebraska.
Williams there, you see him, number 37. Oh, and there's what brings the flag, the shot to the back of the head.
Also a little holding in there. A little bit of everything.
It's not a very good job being that sprinter on the outside, having to try to fight through a double team all the way down the field.
Was that tough duty?
That's tough duty, you better believe it. Nobody volunteers for that.
A minute and a half left in the quarter, 6-0 Packers. Favre retreats on 1st down. Guns it over the middle. It is caught and stripped. Desmond Howard made the catch at the 46-yard line. And the officials come in, and it's Howard who recovers himself. So the man who won the Heisman in 1991, and he won the Heisman, ironically, on the receiving end of Elvis Gerbac's passage as Michigan makes the catch here.
And what a catch it was, too.
And this ball is on the ground for a long time by NFL standards. It's exposed for a couple seconds there before Howard's able to get it back.
Good look at how a crowd is attracted by that football.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. And this is Dorsey Levens. to the 49-yard line in the waning seconds of the quarter. The Hall of Fame coach Bill Walsh, now the administrative assistant to the 49er coaching staff, and upstairs in between team president Carmen Policy and Dwight Clark. As they look on, we start the second quarter, 2nd and 8, Green Bay from the 49-yard line, and Brett Favre going deep and incomplete. Good coverage that time. Crowd wants a flag. Drakeford was covering Antonio Freeman. 3rd down and 8. Favre to Desmond Howard, and a nice tackle made by Marquez Pope, who comes up and takes him down for no gain.
What he's on is a quick screen with 2 offensive linemen pulling out in front of it, and the 49ers read it all the way. They penetrated right through the screen.
So they stopped Favre after Brett had thrown for 124 yards in the first quarter, the most yardage by any quarterback in the first quarter of the season, apart from Steve Berline, who threw for 141 for Carolina against the 49ers in San Francisco's only loss. So an ominous beginning for the Niners, but they're down only 6-zip. Hentrick to punt it.
On the move!
Fair catch called for at the 10 and made there by Dexter Carter. 49ers have it at the 10-yard line, and Gerbach hands the ball to Kirby. Not much over the left side. He picks up a couple, and markers are down again.
Well, through combinations of penalties on the kicking game and that time a good punt by Green Bay, every time San Francisco starts a series, they're looking at a whole lot of real estate. I'm not sure they can even see the Packer end zone from where they've been getting this thing started. Look at that. Their average starting field position, their own 15-yard line. When you have to go 85 yards to score touchdowns, you're in trouble.
Personal foul. Illegal crackback. 15-yard penalty. Half the distance to the goal. Number 83 on the foul. 83, half the distance to the goal.
J.J. Stokes.
There's a movie out a long time ago called Less Than Zero. That's about what we're seeing from the 49er offense to this point. There's Stokes.
Oh, wow.
Right into the back of the legs of Eugene Robinson.
They will not even let you make that contact for obvious reasons. That could be a really deal of severe injury.
As you well know, Frank, that used to be one of the most lethal blocks in football. A lot of guys' careers came to an end because of that crackback.
1st and 14 from the 6. And Elvis throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Jerry Rice. Double covered on the play. Butler going over to help out along with the corner.
Well, Green Bay doing exactly what they said they were going to do, and that is try to jar Jerry Rice at the line of scrimmage. Never let him off the line of scrimmage without a bump, without changing his direction.
But even though he's double covered, I think the guy's open. I mean, Jerry is open there. If it's a decent pass, it slides right in. It's a good move. He gets past Newsome. And right there, if the ball drops in, the safety doesn't come over till later. There's about a 5-yard window there where that would have been a completion.
2nd and 14. Gerbach is 3 of 10 with 2 interceptions. And the running game goes, well, next to nowhere. As at least Kirby turned what appeared to be no gain at the outset into about a 3-yard pickup. Simmons makes the stop, but it's 3rd and long now.
When you touched on something earlier, Al, these linebackers are not marquee names. Wayne Simmons, George Kuntz, and Brian Williams have really made this defense and turned it into a solid, strong defense. They're very swift. They're good athletes. They're all over the football field.
There's 64-year-old Fritz Shermer, their defensive coordinator.
3rd down and 10. Niners trying to convert on 3rd down for the first time tonight, and won't. Kirby makes the catch. Butler tackles him immediately, and the Niners to punt again. So 5 futile offensive series in effect for the 49ers.
Fritz Shermer has given the 49ers fits over the years, and for many years when he was a Rams defensive coordinator.
Fritz Shermer, I think, has given everyone fits for as long as he's been a coordinator in this league.
One of the best for many, many years.
Tommy
here from the Cardinals.
Tommy Thompson's 3rd punt of the night forthcoming. Desmond Howard back to receive it. Good kick this time. Howard from the 33-yard line and takes it to the 49er 49. Packers have outgained the Niners by better than a 2-1 margin, 115 yards passing.
And we looked at it last time. Their average start was what? Their own 39-yard line. Now they're starting all the way in San Francisco territory.
And putting the pressure on the Niner defense, which has done a good job thus far to keep San Francisco very much in the game. Favre changing the play on 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Chased, throws, and almost picked off. Good coverage on the play, knocked down by Tim McDonald. Well, the 49ers now, 5 offensive series, and clearly George Seifert wants to get through this game without playing Steve Young, but it might reach the point where he has to think about playing him.
You know, it all depends on how. This is where we'll find out how seriously he is hurt. Because you are right, Gerbach to this point has been absolutely ineffective. If Steve Young doesn't play at all in this ball game, I think he's hurt worse than we were led to believe.
I don't know whether he's warming up or not, but at least he's holding a football. It's chilly here, around 40 degrees.
2nd and 10. Favre throws, catch made. Don Beebe on a slant to the 40-yard line.
Now George Seifert did tell us in a meeting last night that just because Elvis starts doesn't mean that Steve won't play. If Elvis and the offense keeps going like this, I think we'll find out if that was true or not.
Good little move by Beebe to the outside. He still has it. He came from Carolina, where he went from Buffalo as a free agent a year ago, but we know he has the speed. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown a week ago and still has that blazing speed that sort of characterized him with the Buffalo Bills when he was always often their fastest receiver.
Chadron State.
3rd down and a short one, and Henderson gets that short one. And about a half a yard more as he picks up the 1st down at the 39-yard line.
Well, Steve Young seems to feel that he could play. It's just a question of whether or not I think George Seifert, with Cincinnati coming up and Houston and New Orleans before they finally play Dallas, is he willing, to maybe even sacrifice this game?
I think you touched on it, Al, when you said at the beginning the Super Bowl can't be won tonight.
Right.
As big a game as this is, you'd like to have him ready in December and January.
It's 3.5 months away. My feeling is if this was a game in December, early December, then yes, you'd think about Steve at this point. From the 39-yard line, short pass, 2-yard gain. Edgar Bennett makes the catch, and Tim McDonald tackles him at the 37-yard line.
And the groin injury that Steve Young has is the kind that you could continue to aggravate, and you could get into a dangerous situation of maybe losing him for the entire season. You really could get into that.
We've seen 2 mistakes so far by the 49er defense, which has allowed a couple big plays by the Packers. Other than that, this is a stellar performance to this point by the 49er defensive football team. Their offense has done nothing, and they are playing these Packers hard and tough.
2nd down and 7 at the 36-yard line. Favre with that hard count again.
But nobody went across the line.
Yep, no flags as Bennett is stopped by Woodall.
Well, the ball went on the hard count, but he really attracted them.
Well, Pete Carroll is playing his defensive line a little bit off the line of scrimmage. He's got these guys. That's Pete in the foreground. Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator, is behind him. But he's got his guys playing about a yard off the ball. They're in more of a read and react position. A lot of that, I think, has to do with the mobility and the movement of Brett Favre. See, these guys are back off the ball a little bit.
3rd and 5. That's Keith Jackson in motion. They keep him in the block. Favre comes this way, and the catch is not made inbounds at the 28-yard line. Beebe went up to get it. Drakeford was covering, but he was on the chalk.
Well, Brett is arguing to the official on the spot that he was pushed out of bounds. If the official determines it's a judgment call, if he determines that you would have landed in bounds, he can give you the reception.
Good call. He's clearly out of bounds.
Yep. That contact did not cause Don Beebe to land out of bounds. He was on his way anyway. Well done by the officiating staff.
So on 4th and 5 now, the Packers will at least line up to go for it and pass up the opportunity for a 52-yard field goal attempt.
And he does have that hard count.
He's got Henderson in the slot, and they are going for it on 4th and 5. And Favre gets spun around again and again, and then wobbles one incomplete, and the Niners will take over, and Carroll's group has held again. Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Al Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, and Lynn Swan. Week 7, Monday Night Football in Wisconsin for the second time this year, with the Packers lead 6-0. 9:06 to play in the first half.
And this is the best starting field position that the 49ers have had all night.
Their own 35-yard line, and Gerbach off the play fake throws, and wide open is the tight end Ted Popson for a 17-yard gain and a first down in Green Bay territory, tackled there by George Kuntz.
Popson, of course, filling in for the injured Brent Jones. Good receiver coming off the ball, perhaps a better blocker even than Jones, but Jones, of course, is such a plus from the receiving end. Good move by Popson to get to the outside. He has good hands. And the 49ers up over midfield.
1st and 10 at the Green Bay 49. Stokes, the man in motion. Corner blitz. Here comes Butler from behind, chasing Gerbach, who throws, and that is caught by Jerry Rice, who spins around and picks up a first down to the 25. And the Niners, just like that, back in business.
Another fine catch by Jerry Rice over the middle, and who better to come over the middle than the champion of receptions on Monday night over the years. We've been watching him for 12 years. He has every receiving record we have in the package, and he makes a fine catch here. Good move by Gerbach, who is not noted as the athletic type. Dan.
No, he's not. And you know one thing about Jerry Rice, he plays pretty well on Sundays, too.
We just have to see him on Mondays.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Fake to Kirby. That buys time. And of all things, stop the presses. Right in his hands. Jerry Rice.
Had a lot on it, but even the very best will maybe take their eyes off it just a fraction of a second, thinking run before catch.
I think what Fritz Shermer is upset about is that Gerbach was outside so easily and unchallenged. But that's
you can even see Jerry taking his eyes off that ball.
Perfect look at it, Frank. You're right. He had his head turned upfield.
2nd and 10 to the 25. 6-0 Green Bay halfway through the second quarter. Big time pressure. Butler coming again along with Reggie White. And Elvis just throws it away.
Boy, and that's what took the 49ers toll last January. That blitzing pressure, the dealing by the interior linemen.
But what drives you crazy is you have the blitz coming from that side where Leroy Butler came, but yet Gerbach still got outside of it. That as a defensive coordinator, Shermer is not happy about that. He got outside of the blitz and it allowed Gerbach to go all the way to the sideline.
But look at the coverage downfield. Both the receivers forced out of bounds or either ran out of bounds.
3rd and 10. The Niners are 0 for 5 on 3rd down tonight.
I think you can see Ray Brown, the left guard, came up out of his stance. I don't think there's any question that he started early.
Start, number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Well, attribute that penalty to the Cheeseheads. It's a little noisy down on the floor of this stadium. Elvis trying to call a timeout, but unfortunately Ray Brown had already moved.
3rd down, 15. Elvis throws off his back foot. Great coverage on Jerry Rice. Back there with him is Newsome and Pryor, and it's 4th down, and the Niners would be looking at about a 48-yard field goal attempt. But the wind really picking up now. Swirling.
Newsome, their number 1 pick last year, was all over Jerry Rice. That's a case where Gerbach made his decision to throw there.
And a bad one, too.
Regardless of the coverage.
Hey, the offensive coordinator, Mark Trestman's got to be looking down the field. So that was a bad decision on the part of Gerbach.
Newsome could not have covered him any better, and the safety was coming over as well.
But it wasn't even hidden. It was off the snap of the ball. It was double coverage.
48 yards off the foot of Jeff Wilkins into a swirling wind, and it is good.
Well, there's Beavis, and I don't know who the other one is.
There's Al on steroids.
Major.
Frank, you're looking a little drawn.
Well, it's been a long weekend.
Frank's been to the ranch. Jeff Wilkins to kick off after kicking a career best 48-yard field goal. Dorsey Levens to run back the kick and back out to the 24-yard line with 7:06 remaining in the opening half. Bob McKittrick, the line coach, going over things with the 49er offense, and Brett Favre now leading his offense back out onto the field. They've been given very good field position tonight on several occasions, but the Niner defense has been very tough, and it's only 6-3.
And the highest scoring team in the league by far. They came into this game 42 points ahead of the second place team, which is Minnesota, who's played one more game than the Packers.
They've had their chances, Dan. Yep. They just couldn't get it in.
It's Desmond Howard in motion, and Favre hanging in the pocket and throws incomplete. Merton Hanks reaching in front of Antonio Freeman with the coverage. Second down and 10 from the 23-yard line. Bennett coming to the outside. Nothing happening as Ken Norton is there to knock him down.
Well, they came into tonight's game the number 2 defensive team in the National Football League, and the Packers are playing, the 49ers rather, are playing like it. These guys are flying to the football. They are hitting hard. And there's their defensive coordinator, Pete Carroll, former head coach of the New York Jets. And he has been a defensive coordinator most of his coaching life, and he's a good one.
He did a great job with the Jets while he was there, and this is his second year with the 49ers, and he's more of a gambling defensive coordinator than most, and he'll take chances.
Third down and 11. And Favre under pressure, incomplete, intended for Freeman. Another great job by the Niner defense, forcing a Craig Hentrick punt. And again, if you joined us late, Robert Brooks went out early with a sprained knee. Their outstanding receiver. 49ers have really done a terrific job tonight on Freeman. Keith Jackson got loose early for a pass. Don Beebe got loose for a pass, but
and that's Al, that's a monster subtraction from the Packer offense. 102 receptions last year for Brooks. You take that guy out of your lineup, and there's no question that it's affecting Favre and where he's looking.
Craig Hentrick hits a low line drive kick that's caught at the 31-yard line by Dexter Carter. Escapes there and brings it back up to the 42-yard line. It's so tough, of course, for a guy like Steve Young not to play. Again, he's in uniform tonight, but not in action. And I asked him to describe this sort of feeling.
Well, unfortunately, I had a couple of years in the late 80s when I did that, and I found out that it was literally, it drove me crazy. I mean, I felt like I think I'd rather do a lot of things than stand there. But when you're not completely healthy, but yet you're able to jump into the fray if you have to. The last couple of weeks, you have to be able to do that job.
And Young put in that role, and clearly what he was referring to earlier was when he was backing up Joe Montana through the 80s. Gerbach, the quarterback tonight from the 42-yard line, and Tommy Vardell gets loose. And the Stanford grad gets wrestled down at the 43 of the Packers by Eugene Robinson.
Well, that drive there started at the 41, which was the best field position to date for the 49ers, and again, they're making something of it. The last time they had the ball was their best start. They took it down and got a field goal, and already now quickly they're into Green Bay territory. So some signs of life here in the 49er offense, and a lot of it has to do with where they start on the field.
First down at the 43-yard line. Here's Kirby, unable to get on track. Tommy Vardell, a good story. Vardell picked by the Browns out of Stanford. It was known as Touchdown Tommy there. Had a horrific knee injury a couple of years ago. In effect, he missed 2 seasons. The Niners tried to get him, in fact, from Cleveland, tried to pry him after Cleveland picked him. in that draft, and finally they get him to fill the spot they hope filled so capably by Tom Rathman for so many years.
Cleveland took him in the first round before the 49ers had a shot at him.
And of course, William Floyd not yet back for the 49ers.
2nd and 8. And it's Gardell making the catch and comes up about 2 yards short of the first down. Brian Williams making the hit right there. Meanwhile, Sean Jones took himself out of the game. The defensive end, the bookend to Reggie White for the Green Bay Packers, and now he comes back in. He had been holding his hand.
To this point in time, Harris Barton, the former All-Pro offensive tackle for the 49ers, he's done a pretty good job of neutralizing Reggie White. Barton, the right tackle. The left end, Reggie White.
3rd and 2. Anthony Lynn in at fullback. And the pass is caught by Jerry Rice. And he's out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Tyrone Williams wraps him up there. First down, San Francisco.
A rookie from Nebraska lining up one-on-one against Jerry Rice. And quick to read, it was Elvis Grbac, and he comes right to it. And I'll tell you, Williams will give him a little space. You're not going to beat me deep. Nobody does that better than Jerry Rice. That stride down the middle, full speed, planting that foot, breaking it to the outside, almost impossible to cover.
Rice has caught 4 for 55 yards. First down at the 22-yard line. Grbac throws. Kirby makes the catch and taken down from behind by Brian Williams with a marker down in the offensive backfield at the 27-yard line.
Well, that was a late flag. After the whistle even, I believe.
Sean Jones back in the ball game. He was locked up with Steve Wallace. Wallace, our number 74. I don't know if that's where the penalty came from, but they were the last two still dancing.
Looking at 2 guys at one time on the same staff. Holmgren was the offensive coordinator, and Seifert was the defensive coordinator
for the guy up in the press box.
Yeah.
Mark Wright seeking the input from a lot of guys on his staff.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 96, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, Sean Jones is lined up against Steve Wallace. There's Jones on the left side of your screen. He starts off with Ted Popson, the tight end. Oh, well, that's he kicks Popson right in the ribs. That's Sean Jones, in my estimation, lucky that he wasn't ejected from the ball game.
Very fortunate. Popson was trying to crack back on him. And Popson didn't even touch him.
First and goal from the 9. The Niners have had red zone problems this season. And the pass is caught by Gardell for no gain. The Niners have been tremendously proficient inside the 20 through the years, one of the reasons for their success. But this year, a whole other story. And there it is, 2nd, 1st, and 4th over the preceding 4 years, and this year 24th, only 38% inside the 20.
I think part of the problem recently has been the loss of Brent Jones. He is so effective down around inside that red zone, inside the 10-yard line, but he also makes you cover him. Consequently, you get single coverage on your outside people.
Grbac takes a timeout. 2nd down and goal from the 9. Gardell escapes a tackle in the backfield and then gets down to about the 6.5-yard line where Gilbert Brown stops him along with Doug Evans. So a big 3rd and goal for the 49ers. They'll spot the ball just inside the 7.
Fred Shermer, the defensive coordinator, playing chess with his counterpart on the other side, Mark Trestman.
Right behind Fred Shermer there on the upper right, that's Larry Brooks, their defensive line coach.
He can play.
All-pro defensive tackle, many years with the Rams.
3rd and goal. Grbac surveys, throws, and it's brought in the back of the end zone by Jerry Rice. Does a toe dance on the back line, stretches out, reaches for it, pulls it in.
Is there a flag down there somewhere?
There's a flag down.
I don't see the flag.
At the 1-yard line, over in the far hash mark.
But the body language clearly indicating that a call is forthcoming from Mark Wright, but there is no flag on the field.
Oh, there it is, cleared out the 1-yard line. You're right, Frank. It's right in front of that official.
There was no illegal contact foul. Contact was within 5 yards of the line. Touchdown.
Jerry Rice did a great job at the back of the end zone. Gerbach was in trouble. He didn't see Rice. Rice puts his hand up, waves, here I am, here I am. And a superb catch right at the back of the end zone. Just watch him right here. Gerbach doesn't see him. Now watch this. There I am, right here.
But do you realize how much time this is taking? A tremendous job of blocking by the 49er offensive line. Well, Jerry Rice, another touchdown reception, but boy, you got to credit the guys up front. Take a look at the pocket here that they formed for Elvis Gerbach. Jerry Rice is working his way around the end zone, but Elvis, look at it, that was just a bump. He still holds on to that football, and Rice makes 3 or 4 moves before he catches that. Tremendous work by the offensive line.
Wilkins kick. This is Dorsey Levens taking it from the 7, upended at the 21-yard line with 2:12 remaining in the first half. So the 49er defense kept them very much in the game, and now the offense begins to contribute. And San Francisco has a 4-point lead late in the first half.
And there has to be some incredulous people over here on the Green Bay sideline who are thinking, can we really be behind in this ball game? The first quarter is all Green Bay. They can't get in the end zone, and now they find themselves at 2:12 of the first half trailing.
At the 21-yard line. Favre to Beebe, who makes the catch close to a first down up at the 31-yard line. Tackled there by Woodall, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning. First down at the 31-yard line. Throws, flag down. Bennett is there at the 31-yard line, but we'll get the call from Mark Bright.
Now the 49ers, I think, apparent to everyone, they were across the line before that ball got snapped.
Offside, number 46, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Unfortunately for Tim McDonald, on that particular play, Brett Favre decided to go to a long count. Thought he had it timed out, but he got caught one beat late.
The 49er offense, the Green Bay offense really struggling. They have not had to play a close game other than the one they lost to Minnesota. They have totally dominated. They've been able to move and will, and they are really struggling here in the first half.
On the right, Sherman Lewis, the offensive coordinator. From the 36-yard line, Favre with a pirouette. Comes back, incomplete. Falling down was Mark Chmura.
Well, he fell down because he was trying to stop a severely underthrown ball by Brett Favre. Chmura was wide open.
Well, even with Favre's strong arm, he was not going to throw that back across the field about 35 yards. Mark Chmura, Dan touched on it, a Pro Bowl tight end from a year ago. They have a pair of them.
In the NFC, where Jay Novacek is hurt and not playing for Dallas, Brent Jones hurt, not playing for the 49ers, a wealth of tight ends in Green Bay.
On second down, the catch is made by Antonio Freeman, reaches out and moves the sticks. That's a first down up to the 45-yard line, tackled by Drakeford. And Green Bay will now spend a timeout. They have 2 remaining. After a timeout, first down from the 45-yard line as Favre under pressure has it deflected, and it is intercepted by Dana Stubblefield. What a tip and the pick and a nice run back. Dana Stubblefield forced out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Well, that shatters a lot of myths about what you think about a defensive lineman and his hands.
And a 6'2", 290-pounder looked like a halfback after he caught the ball.
That's good work. That's Darrell Green to be proud of hands like that on an interception.
He had one last year and ran it back for 12 yards, and so the second career pick now for Dana Stubblefield in his 4th season.
Bats it with his left hand up into the air, stays with it, and then look at this. Away he goes.
From the 28-yard line, Tommy Vardell takes it to the 24-yard line. Meanwhile, the second quarter has been a dominant one for the 49ers this season. The Niners have outscored their opponents in the second quarter of the season 69-7.
Oh, they have turned this game around. The momentum totally changed.
2nd and 6 underneath. It's Vardell making the catch. He's wrapped up at the 18-yard line, and that's close to a first down. San Francisco has 2 timeouts remaining. He's a little short of the first, and the Niners will take a timeout with a 3rd and short 1 coming up.
They wasted about 7 or 8 seconds there in attempting to form up at the line of scrimmage before Elvis took the timeout.
And they're down to 1 timeout.
On 3rd and 1 after the timeout, Gerbach keeping to advance the sticks, and he does.
He just has the 1 timeout, so he's trying to. Now we're going to get an official's timeout.
Mark
Jerry wants to measure.
He's going to bring it in.
Oh, this is a bit of a break for the 49ers. They can get something pulled together in the huddle, be up at the line of scrimmage before the clock is restarted.
Regardless of what the 49er offense does on this particular possession, when they go into the locker room at halftime, every one of these offensive guys should walk up to every guy on the defensive team and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for keeping us in this ball game. Thank you for not breaking. And the 49ers here,
they're wasting time there, Dan. They could have had that play at the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line with Kirby in motion. And Gerbach throwing underneath. It's caught there by Vardell. He's tackled at the 14-yard line by Brian Williams.
Form up in a hurry. Ooh, and again they lose 3 or 4 or 5 seconds before they call the timeout. This has not been stellar clock management by the 49ers.
So they're out of timeouts now as the 49ers, after a sputtering and stuttering beginning, have dominated the second quarter. 116 yards to 31. And the other thing with Gerbach tonight, after his stumbling start, Elvis in a way is kind of auditioning along the way here. Remember, his contract's up at the end of this year. The Niners are trying to sign him. A subplot in San Francisco is the fact they want Gerbach to accept second team money in 97, have Steve Young, who signed through next year, guide the team through 97, and then intimating that Elvis will be ready to take over in 98.
In other words, a pretty tricky dance going on there financially.
Very tricky.
And a lot of it has to do also that Steve Young had his 35th birthday on Friday.
And it's a tricky emotional dance, too. 2nd down and 5. And it's Jerry Rice on a fade who makes the catch for the touchdown.
Oh, what a flag.
Great flag.
Flag down at the 11-yard line.
What a great throw.
And it's going to go against Green Bay.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 21, defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
That was Craig Newsome who drew the flag, but what a superb throw by Gerbach, just as we were discussing his future. Watch this. 21 is Newsome. There's the illegal shot to the face. But that could not have been thrown better.
Oh, I'd say that was pretty well executed by the two of those guys. And this is a stunned Lambeau Field right now.
Wilkins for the point after. Jerry Rice has just caught the 150th touchdown pass of his career to go with 11 on the ground.
What concentration here, too.
Well, Elvis Gerbach threw a few of these in college to a guy named Desmond Howard. I remember one specifically in a game against Notre Dame. He has a beautiful touch on the football on that soft little lob up over the top.
Newsome had to be playing in that tight. You're down inside in the red zone where you got to take the receiver. He knew he had help to the inside. Perhaps played it a little too tightly.
What kind of a rebound have we seen by Elvis so far in this ballgame? First 3 or 4 possessions for the 49ers, he was throwing the football all over the field. A pair of interceptions.
Well, his first 2 passes were really bad.
Then almost the third, remember the one-hopper to Robinson that he almost had a pick. But boy, he is now throwing it with authority, and look at that, 14 of 24.
And you, right, Dan, he has stunned the Cheeseheads, all 60,000 plus of them.
Pete Carroll has gone downstairs to go with the team into the locker room, and his defense really did a job in that first quarter to keep it to 6-0 and enable the offense to finally get things in gear, which they've done. Dorsey Levens takes it back up to the 20-yard line.
Well, we will learn a lot about the Green Bay Packers and the balance of this first half, only 20 seconds, but in the second half specifically. We will find a great deal out about this club, and specifically about Brett Favre. They're facing adversity at home. I think a lot of questions might get answered, Frank.
Well, I think having lost Robert Brooks, he will not be back, is going to hurt a team trying to come back from a 17-6 deficit. They're going to have to throw the football. Robert Brooks is their best receiver on the field. He won't be available in the second half.
And Mike Holmgren taking the stance, let's get inside before anything else bad happens to us. Let's talk this over and let's regroup.
Stunning turnaround. Crowd back into it in Green Bay, but the 49ers took them out of it at the end of the first half.
There's some truth to that.
Yes, there is. Packers took an early 6-0 lead, but the Niners with 17 unanswered points, and Jeff Wilkins to kick off as the second half gets underway from Green Bay. Good kick. Dorsey Levens at the goal line. And out past the 20 and run out of bounds by Cedric Dodge up at the 30-yard line. And let's check in with Lynn Swann. Lynn?
Al, I talked to Mike Holmgren about the second half, and he said he's got to get Brett Favre more protection. In order to do that, they're going to get more conservative. He felt he could come in and play a more wide-open offense. Decided in the first half he could not. They're going to keep more people in to protect him, means fewer people out into the patterns. Al?
Fewer people out into the patterns. Try to get a running game going as well, I would assume. They've been unable to do that to this point. At the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 with Bennett in motion. And Favre going for Beebe, and he's covered by Marquez Pope, who gets there as the ball arrives. And again, if you join us late, the great receiver Robert Brooks, injured early on, sprained knee, gone for the night. So Beebe has seen a lot of action.
Pope plays this absolutely perfectly, looking in too far and making a quick move on the ball. Beebe, of course, not the Robert Brooks with the moves, but he does have that great speed you have to respect. Pope played that well.
2nd and 10. Try to get something going on the ground. Here's Henderson. Green Bay had only 14 yards rushing in the first half tonight. They pick up 3 on the ground here, 3rd down and 7.
Earl Dotson being helped out the field puts the offensive line in pretty bad shape for the Green Bay Packers. They've lost John Michaels. Their starting left tackles are on the corners. Dan, they're in trouble.
There's Earl on the right, and what so often happens to an offensive lineman, the pile falls on his leg. He gets his left leg caught in there. Really put in a bad position.
At least he was able to put a little weight on it coming to the sidelines. That's the good news. We'll try to get a further report. But the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers is truly hurting.
Bruce Wilkerson comes in to replace Dotson, and Favre throws, and it's Antonio Freeman who makes a rolling catch up at the 42-yard line on a key 3rd down.
Well, they really need Antonio Freeman to step up like he did a week ago with the 7 receptions and the 2 touchdowns against Chicago. He's a fine receiver with good speed, very acrobatic. But with Brooks out of the game, they are going to need a lot of Antonio Freeman here in the second half.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Early 3rd quarter, 49ers lead by 11. They're trying to set up a screen. Dolman chasing Favre. And Brad turns it into a nice little game before stepping out of bounds near midfield.
Speaking of good athletes, and the run away from Dolman is quite a feat.
7-yard run by Favre to make it 2nd down and 3. And then Freeman can't maintained possession of it. Incomplete, covered by Drakeford right in front of Seifert.
Well, that's one I'm sure Freeman feels he should have had. And that was for first down yardage. Take a look again. Going against Drakeford. Breaks to the outside. Ball is right there. You got to handle that. He's better with the acrobatic catches. He had a couple of super receptions against the Bears a week ago. Blows an easy one.
3rd and 3 from the 48-yard line, and the Niners jump. It was Dolman again. He'll get a momentary sack, but the chances are it's going to be a first down instead.
I don't think that sack is going to hold up, Ral. You're right. I didn't see any movement on the Packer offensive line.
Offside, number 56, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The only movement is in the head and the upper shoulders of Brett Favre with an extremely hard count. Not the first time tonight that he's had the 49ers jumping off sides. Watch Favre. Look at the force right there. You can see that he puts into that snap. And it got Dolman. And again, another big first down for the Packers.
From the 47-yard line, Favre throws, and that's incomplete. Keith Jackson got a hand on it, and that's all. Keith, a 50-yard reception in the first quarter tonight.
Well, corner blitz.
Corner blitz by the Niners, Dan, you're right. And that one should have been complete. It was read by Jackson and also by Favre. Just a little low, but one that he also could have handled.
No, it's what you work on all week. Everything executed except the throw and the catch. Everybody else was doing the right thing, and it should have been a relatively easy pickup for the Packers.
Marquez Polk with the corner blitz that time. He's back in coverage here as Bennett swings to the outside, then turns it back upfield. Takes it to the 42, tackled there by Tim McDonald, setting up a 3rd down and 4.
Boy, this is an important drive, too, for Green Bay. They lost the momentum totally in the second quarter. They've come out. They've been able to move the football. It's a very stubborn 49er defense.
.20 left, third quarter, 17-6, 49ers. 3rd and 4 from the 41-yard line. Favre under pressure gets buried by Lee Woodall.
Timely blitz by the 49ers.
Well, they overload the right side. Favre's right side, just more people coming than Green Bay has blockers. Favre has to see that. And Woodall coming from his right side, and Favre looks dazed as he comes off the field. He takes one right in the popper from Woodall. Woodall unblocked, Plummer coming as well. And you'd think that Favre would have seen him coming from his right side like that, and yet he gave no indication of seeing Woodall at all.
He caught the helmet right on the face mask.
Woodall looks just like Evander Holyfield.
And that was close to a knockout punch.
Yes, it was. Pentrick floats one that bounces inside the 10, and the Packers cannot down it. Roderick Mullen was down there, and they should have downed it, and could have downed it, but didn't.
They got greedy.
Brett Favre still shaking off the cobwebs on the Green Bay bench as the Niners take possession of the 20-yard line, and Gerbach has not completed 9 consecutive passes as Vardell makes the catch and takes it up to the 27. 3rd and 1, and Anthony Lynn, the backup fullback, picks up 6 and moves the sticks. First down at the 35. On 2nd down and 7. Terry Kirby up to the 42-yard line, tackled by Mike Pryor.
197 games, I think, that he's played overall, which is truly remarkable, those regular season games.
34 years old yesterday.
Think he'll be elected to the Hall of Fame?
Before he retires.
If ever,
They might limit the 5-year waiting period.
if ever it could happen, he would do it.
3rd down and 3 at the 42. And Gerbach has it knocked down, so of the Packers stiffened. Leroy Butler came charging in and got a hand on it, forcing a 49er punt.
Well, Fritz Shurmur this time, realizing that he's got to make something happen, give his offensive team a shot, really comes with everybody.
And they did so much of that last January in their 27-17 win in the playoffs, and they've been very reluctant, it seems like, to come with the blitz in the first half. Right there, they show it.
Nice job by Butler, realizing he wasn't going to get there, going up in the air.
Tommy Thompson kicking, Desmond Howard back to get it.
Well, Howard's going to have room.
43-yard punt. But it's to the short side of the field, and he's tackled up at the 21-yard line. All right, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers now at the 21-yard line. They're down by 11, 8:36 left in the third quarter. Favre throws, and it's Freeman making the catch in front of Marquez Pulpin, pulling it inbounds at the 35-yard line for a first down.
That time, the Green Bay offensive line, which has been hurt, they were Nick coming into tonight. They're very young, Dan, but they know they better protect their quarterback. He gets hit again, he'll be out of there.
Well, he took the big shot from Woodall, and I think that we realized after that throw the cobwebs are gone. Look at that dart by Brett Favre to Antonio Freeman. That's what separates the boys from the men on a throw like that. Brett's a man when it comes to tossing a football.
From the 35-yard line, here is Edgar Bennett with some room up the middle, up to the 41-yard line. McDonald and Plummer make the tackle.
Well, the crowd's starting to come to life a little bit here. Still trailing 17-6. And Jimmy Mack, 15-year pro from BYU, he's next in line if for some reason Favre can't go.
Second and 4, halfway through the third quarter. San Francisco leading by 11.
Here comes an audible by Favre.
I guess he's all right. Out of a split back set, the short drop, the quick flip, and then dropped by Freeman.
Whoa.
Oh, that's two Freeman's dropped. Both of them would have been for first downs. But I'll tell you one thing about Brett Favre. He read that blitz in advance. They were trying to hide it. He read it, made the call, got the ball there, and it should have been a first down.
Freeman's young. It's only his second year, and he has needed some prodding by head coach Mike Holmgren in the past. Holmgren not shy about getting on him.
Well,
and I think he's got another dose coming next time he visits the Packers sideline. He's got to pick it up.
Third and 4 from the 41. Blitz again. Here they come. Favre steps away from it, throws, and it's caught at the 30-yard line.
I don't think he's
by Don Beebe.
This will be 6.
The play is still alive. Touchdown.
That is a world-class throw by Brett Favre.
World-class getaway. Threw it back across his body.
The officials are having a major league meeting about this.
He caught it. Was he downed?
I did not see him get touched.
It was a 3rd and 4. It's a touchdown.
It was close.
Pope did reach over in an effort to touch him.
Let's see if he did touch him.
Well, number 23 will come into your shot. Does he touch him?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he had his hand on his knee. Marquez Pope had his hand on Beebe's knee.
Green Bay gets one.
Another look at it, but from that angle, it looked mighty conclusive that he had his hand on his knee.
Did he even catch it to begin with?
Well, everybody who favors instant replay, they'll zero right in on this play. If it was a catch, it looked pretty conclusive to me that he touched him while he was down.
2-point conversion attempt here. As Favre throws into a lot of traffic, and the officials look around.
Yes.
Now the one guy comes in and says he is in. The line judge, Edgar Bennett, caught it and somehow submarined through for the conversion to make it 17-14. Brett Favre on a 3rd and 4, hooking up with Don Beebe, and Marquez Pope can only shake his head, and there he is. Beebe tonight, 4 catches for 132 yards, packed back in the game down by 3, kickoff into the end zone, run back by Dexter Carter from 2 yards in, and he's tackled at the 26-yard line. And let's go back and take a look at the Beebe catch and run.
All right, here's the tail end of it. Now watch the football in the right arm of Don Beebe. It looked like the football touches the turf, but it's also apparent that Beebe has his right arm underneath it. So you could make the argument, was it a legitimate catch? But there's no question that Marquez Pope touches Don Beebe when he's on the ground. Give Beebe some credit. He sold that by getting up and running.
He sold it. Kirby picks up 4 to the 29-yard line, tackled there by Simmons. And then it's a Green Bay tradition started by Robert Brooks. He got halfway in.
Well, Beebe, a couple of big weeks now. He really put a nail in the Chicago's coffin a week ago with a 90-yard kickoff return. He was having a big night tonight.
A man with great speed, but not much of a vertical leap.
No. 2nd down and 6 from the 29. 6:30 to go in the 3rd. Ted Popson breaks a tackle and then lunges for what might be a first down. Craig Newsome stops him. Very close.
Good body control. Good body control by Popson. He stopped and made Brian Williams miss him. Lowered the shoulder and then fought for a couple extra.
Gives you a lot more bulk than Brent Jones, who was injured and can't play. And right here he shows he's a pretty nifty receiver.
All right.
Not bad on his feet.
Pretty good sized guy to be going that hard one direction and stop that quickly.
3rd and a short 1. And Gerbach with a lean and with the angle is very close. They had to get just across the 35-yard line. And that's where they're going to put the football. And Mark Wright's going to call for time. And for Shurmur, we'll wait and see whether it's 4th and an inch or first down. And it's a first down. Mark Wright took a look and said, move the chain. Lambeau Field, where the 49ers were on their way to taking the crowd out of the game, but they're now very much back into it. More than 60,000 looking on tonight. It's the largest crowd in the history of Lambeau Field. And Gerbach on first down guns one into the arms of Popson, and he's into Green Bay territory. First down at the 48-yard line. Kuntz and Robinson stop him.
It's what all really good football teams are able to do. When their front line guy goes down, the backup is able to step up and contribute. And that is the case with Ted Popson, who's filling in for Brent Jones. He's playing big football for the 49ers.
And it was Eugene Robinson, the free safety, roaming the outfield. They were trying to cover Popson with a linebacker. They've been doing it all night. Just a little deep turn in.
There was Brent Jones as Kirby cuts to the outside and then is wrapped up in the arms of the outside linebacker Brian Williams. Again, one of those no-name linebackers. They love Brian Williams, second-year player out of USC, who has come on, and he, along with Kuntz and Wayne Simmons, forming a very potent triumvirate.
Well, Williams started on the outside. That allowed Kuntz to move into the middle to take the place of Fred Strickland, who went to Dallas.
And 2nd down and 8. Gerbach throws over the middle where Jerry Rice hauls it in at the 37-yard line, and enough for the first down. Tackled by Eugene Robinson. We talked about the prudential fact before, the facts in fact with Jerry Rice and all he's done on Monday night. Tonight, 150 TD receptions, counting the 2 tonight. 50 more than the second most in history, Steve Largent, with an even 100. It's incredible.
And what respect he has from his peers. So many of them get films edited just Jerry Rice's catches, his moves, and study them during the offseason.
On the 37-yard line, Gerbach stepping up, stepping away, going deep. Tried to hit Stokes, and he was blanketed by Doug Evans.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, that was a good throw by Gerbach. He threw that ball where he was not going to be picked off. He was in trouble, had to slide out of the pocket, and he just got rid of it. Gave Stokes a chance to catch it, but it certainly wasn't going to be intercepted.
You know, Frank, for a guy that's not really well known for his mobility, this is pretty nifty by Gerbach, running to his left, stopping and throwing right-handed, and look where he puts his football.
One that could have been caught, but not intercepted. Good touch on that ball.
If Elvis Gerbach's confidence was shaken at the beginning of this game, he has it back.
2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line.
Reggie finally gets there.
Reggie White, who's been fairly quiet tonight, relatively speaking, gets noisy all of a sudden.
This is the curse of an offensive tackle. You block a guy all night, and then on one play, he gets around the corner, and you're the GOAT. Harris Barton's number 79. He turned his shoulders too much, gave Reggie the corner, and Reggie took it.
And Harris has done a great job on him right up until this point.
Yep, that's again
good coverage downfield. That was he had time to get rid of that ball, Dan.
3rd and 13 with Rice in motion. Jerry running a crossing pattern. Now Gerbach coming back the other way. And Elvis fires. It's a dangerous pass, and he's lucky it wasn't picked off. Wayne Simmons was there, and the intended receiver, Popson, had to turn into the defensive back in effect.
And did Elvis take a shot? Gerbach stood there on the sidelines to throw that thing back there, and he got peppered, and there's a Packer down.
Darius Holland was the one that put the shot on him.
Reggie White was his 160th.
So Gerbach is okay, but there's an injured Packer.
That's Reggie White chasing Elvis Gerbach.
It was White and Holland unloaded on Gerbach.
And really, as I look at it, it's really not that bad a hit. I thought Elvis got hit a lot harder than that. It's the two helmets of the two Packers that actually made that collision. You could hear it clear up here in the press box. I initially thought it was Elvis that got hit that hard. It was actually the two Packers. Holland and Reggie White. Watch this again. Watch Holland coming in number 90 and Reggie White. Holland kind of takes it right on the chin, doesn't it?
They just did a number to themselves.
So there's an injury timeout with 2:32 remaining in the third quarter. The shaken up Packer was Reggie White, but he has gotten up and he's back on the bench right now as the 49ers get set to punt on 4th down. And Tommy Thompson sends one that bounces near the 5 and comes back and is downed up at the 11-yard line. Now the Packers begin from the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. 49ers up by 3. Favre, pump fake, then throws, and it's nearly picked off by Merton Hanks, who hung back there. Don Beebe streaking down the sideline was the intended receiver.
Well, I think Favre thought that Drakeford had gone for the little hitch that Beebe put on Drakeford, but actually he knew that he had deep coverage from Merton Hanks, and Hanks was right there. He blew this earlier in the game, but this time Hanks was right where he should have been.
If you looked at that,
picked it off.
If you looked at that closely, you could see that Hanks didn't even take one jitter step forward on the pump by Brett Favre. He was all over that.
He had the deep zone. He had made a mistake earlier.
On 2nd down and 10. Dorsey Levens up to the 16-yard line, tackled there by Tim McDonald with a little bit more than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Reggie with a sack tonight, now with 160 and a half in his stellar career. 3rd and 5 from the 16. takes it to the 29. Tim McDonald makes the tackle on a big third down conversion for the Packers with a minute and a half to play in the third.
Just another little something with Favre. He took everything off that. Just a wonderful touch to really help Desmond Howard catch that football. He really does have it all. Dan, I think he really is, Al. I think he's really playing a little shaken out there.
And Desmond Howard is actually a participant here now because of that injury to Robert Brooks. Derek Mays was going to be the fourth receiver. Now Desmond Howard has to fill that role.
First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Favre. Oh, wow. The catch is made by Don Beebe. Big night for Don, the longtime Bill who spent last season with the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, but what another rifle shot by Favre over the man underneath. Just dropped it in there perfectly.
But who's he been working to? Beebe, the last one to Howard. Prior to that, you know, Antonio Freeman is his big play guy, but he's had a couple drops, and you wonder if Brett's lost a little confidence in him.
Right. And he was going to Keith Jackson early on, made that one reception. Also, the 49ers have done a good job tonight taking the running backs out of the passing game. But now they go to the running back, Dorsey Levens, and he takes it up to the 43-yard line.
The screen back across the field that was read by the 49ers really well, and it was Levens who just turns absolutely nothing into something.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter.
I have no comment.
What's that mean? He's off cutting the cheese again.
Well,
what's that mean?
We'll leave that to your imagination as we start the fourth quarter, and Brett Favre on second down and 10 fires, caught by Beebe again. First down at the 49er 33-yard line.
I'll tell you, that's not a normal throw. No one should be able to throw that ball from that position. Moving to his left, he rifled that ball about 30 yards on a string. He is so powerful.
He's actually like backpedaling. He turns all the way around and starts almost backpedaling, throwing that football. You're right, Frank. That's a gift. That is a gift. Brett Favre blessed with a rocket for an arm.
The 31-year-old Beebe, 6 catches for 170 yards tonight. 11 swings to the outside and taken down beautifully by Lee Woodall. Hung right with him. Lee Woodall, another late-round draft choice out of Westchester, a safety in college, and one of those picks that doesn't get very much attention, but a guy who wound up as a rookie starter with the Super Bowl champions of 2 years ago.
Well, they just couldn't believe what they got in the 6th round. A safety from a small school starting at linebacker for them as a rookie.
And it's a wobbly duck that was tipped. As he released it, Dana Stubblefield got his hand on it. Third down and long. Third down and 14 from the 37-yard line. Favre off balance against the grain and incomplete. Intended for the double-covered Keith Jackson. So it'll be fourth down. And they would be looking at about a 54-yard Chris Jackie attempt, but they will opt for a punt instead.
Jackie's career best's actually 54, but the winds are strange here. That was at Detroit, I believe, and indoors, and they're going to count a little on their defense.
And the risk you run if you miss it is that the 49ers take over at the 44-yard line.
And their offense playing a little better than they were in the first quarter when Mike Holmgren, faced with this same situation, went for it.
Hendrick tries to put it into the corner and can't. Into the end zone instead. 17-14 San Francisco. The 49ers have it at their own 20 with 13:30 left in the fourth quarter in Green Bay. Elvis Grbac to Tommy Vardell. Gain of 5 up to the 25. If you joined us late, Steve Young not starting tonight. in uniform, though, but the 49ers looking ahead, and there is Young with the baseball cap on, and they hope to be able to keep him out for the next 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks and get him ready for November and December.
One guy who's really fit into this 49er offense, other than that guy, Jerry, Tommy Vardell. He's really having a fine game for San Francisco.
Here he is again. He picks up 2 to make it 3rd and 3. Reggie White, by the way, back in the game. Santana Dotson making the tackle.
Well, he's everything you want for this West Coast offense, being able to block and run with the football, catch it, work out of the backfield. He can do it all. For the most part, they've done a pretty good job on Reggie White tonight.
He's outside on Ted Popson. This time they come out with the short trap. Chris Dahlman gets into the legs of Reggie White.
3rd and 3. Anthony Lynn is in the game at fullback. And it is incomplete. Reaching for it was J.J. Stokes, who has not caught a ball tonight, and Craig Newsome with the coverage.
That's good coverage on the part of Newsome. He was right there.
Stokes didn't have a catch last week against the Rams either, and there were a lot of stories, a spate of stories about how Gerbach was finding his rhythm with Stokes and how Stokes had become his favorite receiver. Say what?
Well, Gerbach gave him a difficult chance there.
Tommy Thompson. Hauled in by Desmond Howard at the 30. Good coverage. Cedric Dodge takes him down at the 30-yard line.
Desmond Howard on the left behind the official Elvis Gerbach. And I think everybody knows about their history together at the University of Michigan, where Howard won the Heisman. Gerbach set all the passing records. These two guys went to high school together. They were teammates in the same class at St. Joseph High School in Cleveland, Ohio. They go way back.
On first down, the pass intended for Dorsey Levens, a little low and incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Follow-up just on the Gerbach situation with Desmond. Elvis found his way to Michigan because they came down there to recruit Howard, who was a tailback. They took a look at this quarterback who wasn't bad throwing the ball, and Elvis kind of came in the back door. He said Desmond was the tailback. They wanted him desperately, and I kind of just tagged along.
2 of them linked up for 31 touchdown passes at the University of Michigan. 2nd and 10. Far throws. It's caught by Antonio Freeman. That's a 14-yard gain on the first down up at the 44-yard line. Green Bay down by 3. 1st and 10 up at the 44-yard line. Far deep. Look at that pass. But Beebe was on the chalk. Out of bounds. Dropped it anyway. Marquez Pope back there with him. Don Beebe, a guy who amazed everybody by making the Buffalo Bills in the first place, amazed everybody by staying there as long as he did, and now looks like as if he's in the prime of his career.
Boy, and that came close to being the whole thing.
And he gave you a good display of that 4.29, 4.3 speed that he still has, as you saw him accelerate right by Marquez Pope, who had excellent position on Beebe.
Favre's thrown for 300 yards tonight, 170 of those to Beebe. 2nd and 10, and they give it to Henderson, and that's a nice hole through the middle, and he takes the ball to the 49 tackled by Barker.
Good changeup going with the draw on 2nd and long. 49ers trying to get to Brett Favre. The chess game plays out. Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, has done a terrific job.
Sherman Lewis talking into the headset. They spot it right at the 50, make it 3rd and 4 from the 50-yard line. Pressure on Favre. He has to unload and throws it away. Good pressure by the Niners that time, forcing a punt. 4th down.
You know, at that time they came up the middle and they forced Favre, to move out of the pocket. If you're Pete Carroll, aren't you a little apprehensive because you're putting a guy on the move that's more dangerous on the move than when he's stationary in the pocket?
But they're doing a good job in the coverage, Dan. They're staying with the coverage and still managing to get the force on Brett Favre. They've been doing it all night.
Hentrick to punt. floating kick. Fair catch called for and made by Carter on his knees at the 11. Well, the last time we saw this scene, it precipitated the line from Dan.
Macarena and cheese.
Right.
It's kind of the Lambeau Field version of the 7th inning stretch. They Macarena for 2 minutes.
They've had a little too much rice with their cheese tonight. First down from the 11-yard line. And looking for Stokes. Great coverage again by the Packers as Stokes continues to be shut out.
So now, if you put it in the air, you got to think they're going to try to get it to Rice.
Derek Lavelle is in the game. He gets the football. And the erstwhile starter up to the 12-yard line. And with Lavelle in there right now spelling Kirby. We should also note the 49ers have William Floyd back in uniform tonight, the fullback, the guy who came into the league known as Bar None. There is Kirby. William Floyd on the sidelines hasn't played tonight, but a remarkable story in and of itself with a horrific knee injury and back a year later.
Totally dislocated. It was amazing that he is back. But if he gets healthy, he will be a factor late in the season. Good receiver out of the backfield.
Third down and 8. Pressure up the middle and nearly picked off. Gilbert Brown came charging in to put the pressure on.
That's the second time in as many series that Elvis Grbac has, at the last minute, decided to get rid of the football, throws it into the middle of the field, and almost gets picked off.
That's where you were talking about. Here comes Gilbert Brown. Gilbert Brown is a lot of Gilbert Brown. Rolls his way right into Gerbach's face.
Tommy Thompson to punt. Howard back. Good punt. 47 yards. Taken at the 36-yard line. And great coverage by the white shirts. 49ers down and back at the 33-yard line.
George Stewart, the special teams coach of the 49ers, spent 4 years in Tampa Bay. Rightly so, congratulates his guys. Outstanding coverage.
49ers have rarely put a great deal of emphasis on their special teams, but trying to do more of that this year. They've always felt that with their offense and the way their defense would normally play, that was one area that was just never emphasized and never stressed by the 49ers, special teams.
One thing Mike Holmgren talked all week to his club about was being in a tight ball game because they don't have any experience in doing so. They're in one now. We'll see if it paid off.
And Favre throws. It's caught up at the 40-yard line. 8-yard gain. Beebe again.
You know, win or lose this ball game, I think Holmgren's club will come out of this better off for having at least been in a pressure-packed fourth quarter. Not much good comes from losing, no matter what type of a spin you try to put on it, but at least they'll gain some experience there, and of course to win it, a huge plus.
Under 9 minutes to play on 2nd and 2. Levens swings to the outside, so they've been going with Levens in the second half instead of Bennett, and Gary Plummer makes the tackle.
And we have not seen Chimura or Keith Jackson in a long time.
Jackson, of course, had that big play in the first quarter, and I think the 49ers realized that they were going to have to make an adjustment to cover Jackson, not with a linebacker, but with somebody more able to run with him, and I think that's what has kind of taken him out of the game.
Keith has caught 2 passes tonight as they're just short. It'll be third down to that much. Chimura has caught no passes tonight. And the big play to Keith Jackson early in the game.
There's the coverage by Ken Norton. And Jackson separates pretty quickly from Norton.
There they are.
But again, at the conclusion of that series, the 49er defense held, and Green Bay was forced to get just 3 points out of it on a Jackie field goal.
Interesting. 3rd and inches, and both tight ends are on the sideline, and they let Favre do it himself on a sneak, and he picks up the first down.
But that was 3rd and a full foot. 3rd and about 12 inches. But it's a pretty good ploy to spread it out like that. You take the leapers out of there. You spread the field and you take a lot of those guys away from the formation that could come sailing across the stop.
Take the linebackers out of there that would be in the gap.
Yep.
First down, Green Bay at the 43. 49ers lead by 3. 7:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Favre rolls. Beebe again. 8 catches for Don tonight. Ball is loose, but after the play is dead at the 48-yard line.
Once again, you just have to marvel at the arm of Brett Favre. Whip that in there across his body. And found his new favorite receiver, number 82. Don Beebe.
Sometimes I wonder if his receivers catch the ball or if they're impaled by the football.
They say it's very easy to catch. It has a lot of revolutions on it.
Beebe with 187 receiving yards, and Favre will try to do it himself again, stretching and reaching, and is close to a first down.
That's a busted play. That I can't believe that's what they intended to do. Brett just coming out and running.
I tell you, and he reached for it and he got it.
He makes a busted play look like a real play. If it's busted, he knows it at the initial instant, and away he goes.
Yeah, that's definitely a blow in the backfield. He had backs going different directions.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line. Out of a two-back set now with Jackson on the left side, and Dorsey Levens is taken down. Ankle tackle by Ken Norton. Good play by the middle linebacker. Ken Norton Jr., a member of championship teams in Dallas and in San Francisco.
He found his Pro Bowl as a 49er last year. Great quickness. Not all that big, only about 240, but he is very, very quick and very athletic.
Second and 10 at the 48. 6:10 remaining. Corner blitz. They pick it up nicely. Favre then throws, and he finds Freeman at the 40-yard line, and he rolls to the 39, where it'll be third down and 2.
I'll tell you, when you're rolling on the ground and 46 is coming at you from the 49ers, it takes a lot of guts to continue to roll because you know you're going to get hammered.
What a great job by Frank Winters, the center of the Packers, who comes all the way out after snapping the ball and picks off the blitz off the corner to give Favre that extra time. And Edgar Bennett heads to the Packer locker room.
Headed out. We've seen Levens in the second half, third and a long one from the 39-yard line. Levens takes it to the 37, should have it. First down.
Bennett is the third starter on this Packer offensive team that's not in the ball game. Robert Brooks went out the first play of the game. Earl Dotson, their right tackle, injured his knee, and he's out of the ball game. And now Bennett in the locker room. So there's a lot of attrition taking place here on the Packer offensive team.
Levens, though, does play a lot in certain offensive sets. Was a starter a year ago, so you really don't lose a lot with him in there.
4:40 to go. First down at the 36-yard line. And Favre going deep for Freeman. Knocked away at the last moment by Tyrone Drakeford on a pass that hung. Second and 10.
He was so close. Freeman caught one of those a week ago against the Bears. That time Drakeford with good position.
I'd say his position was perfect.
And looking back into the eyes of Freeman, when Freeman looks for the ball, he looks for the ball. Well done.
Drakeford replacing the departed Eric Davis, the Pro Bowler who opted to sign as a free agent with Carolina. Second down and 10 from the 36-yard line. And Favre has that one dropped by Freeman. It's the third time he's dropped an easy pass tonight.
That's the one the Green Bay Packers don't call a pick. A little crossing route on the outside. Favre on the roll. Ooh, that's 3 now
I would say that Antonio Freeman has reached the point where he's lost his confidence.
Well, they need not only a first down, but at least a little yardage here, because they're looking at a 54-yard field goal attempt if they don't gain anything on this play. And Favre throws, and they get the first down, and Freeman gets the confidence back.
Favre really had no place to go. He got to Freeman, and once again, absolutely a brilliant throw off balance. Perfectly placed.
And I think Dorsey Levens, the back in there, did a super job picking up the 49er blitz. There's Levens, 25. Look at him pick up Tim McDonald. McDonald takes to the airwaves, and just another perfect pass. And Freeman finally held on.
But with the blitz, you also got your coverage of your wide receiver from the safety, Merton Hanks.
First down to the 20. 4:26 remaining in the fourth. The Niners leading by 3. Going for Freeman again, reaching, and it's incomplete. Drakeford with the coverage.
Drakeford is saying that he was fouled. He was interfered with. Falls on deaf ears. Well, Drakeford's in a good position all night long.
There was a bump there. You can see Drakeford's shoulder going into Freeman.
Well, Freeman grabbed Drakeford's arm also.
That's pretty much contact of the incidental variety. Well, these guys do have pads on.
Second and 10, 4:22 left. Here's Dorsey Levens to the 17-yard line.
They have bullseyes all around this stadium, especially down in the end zones where Robert Brooks, as we mentioned, started it off. There's the biggest.
Third down, call it 8 now. 18-yard line. 3:47 left in the fourth.
Does Pete Carroll come after him?
3 receivers set to the left. Favre goes that way. Almost picked off. Intended for Howard. Marquez Pope to break it up. And now Chris Jackie to come in to attempt what will be about a 35-yard field goal.
Strange in that situation. He goes to the guy who really doesn't have a lot of experience running plays from scrimmage here for the Packers, and Desmond Howard. And obviously, Howard had not yet made his break when the ball's thrown by Favre, and a miscommunication almost cost him.
35-yarder for Jackie to try to tie the game. He's made them from 30 and from 25. And this one is good. And Green Bay has erased an 11-point halftime deficit. 3:35 left in the fourth quarter, and the Packers and the 49ers tied at 17.
Well, whatever the outcome, I think we have had a few questions answered about the Green Bay Packers. We said they have not played in a close game other than the one they lost to Minnesota. But they have come out here in the second half. They were a very determined football team. They came back, and they've got this all knotted up.
And I think we're also seeing what happens when two very good football teams play one another. There's two good defensive teams. Again, you see how the Packers have dominated the second half from a yardage standpoint. And over, about 132 yards ahead of the 49ers overall. These are two quality football teams duking it out.
49ers had taken total control of this game in the second quarter. And it was a question whether Green Bay was going to come back. And they did.
Hentrick kicks off. Dexter Carter from the 6. Swinging to the outside. Good run back and thrown out of bounds up at the 34-yard line by Tyrone Williams. Now, granted, it's only the middle of October, and you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you're looking at two clearly elite teams in the NFC. And if they wind up with similar records this season, and they get to the NFC Championship game, you could be looking at where you're going to play it.
I know it's not too early to talk about that.
They made all vote on San Francisco for the NFC Championship game. Late January.
First down from the 34-yard line. Gerbach swinging it out, caught by Kirby, and he gets taken down from behind by George Kuntz up at the 39-yard line. And comes up shaking.
Yes, he is. Kirby, a couple of years ago, had a very severe knee injury. I'm not saying that's what it is, but he was out for a year, came back, and had a good year a year ago. And he is in pain.
I think Kuntz fell on the back of his leg. Watch if Kuntz doesn't fall. Right there. Oh, yeah, he rolls up his right ankle.
And he immediately grabs for it.
Yeah.
Kirby picked up from Miami when Jimmy Johnson decided to go with his particular offense. He found Kirby, who'd been pretty much a third down back, expendable. The 49ers brought him in initially as a third down back, but as of tonight, with Tommy Vardell looking on as the guy they're going to make into their featured back.
They continue to look at Kirby. I think they're looking at his knee.
And in his absence, we will see Derek Lavelle, the guy who took over last year and did a fairly decent job. And there he is, and he started this year as the starter. But one of those guys that the 49ers would always compliment and talk about his grit, but you always knew they were looking out of the corner of their eye to replace him.
He had over 700 yards rushing a year ago. He caught just under 90 passes.
There's a good sign. Kirby actually,
a real good sign.
Kirby jogging off.
Terry Kirby to the sidelines, and Lavelle in the game, and play ready to resume right now. Second down and 5 for the 49ers up at the 39-yard line. 3:19 left in the fourth. Game time at 17. Crowd in full throat. Swing pass, Lavelle. Tackled immediately at the 39-yard line by Kuntz.
So impressed with the play of both of these defensive teams here tonight. The coverage has been good. The tackling has been crisp. We've not seen a lot of blows. This has just, I think, been a really well-played defensive football team by both Pete Carroll's 49ers squad and Fritz Shurmur's Green Bay team.
Third down, 5. 2:40 to play. Incomplete, forcing a punt. Intended for Rice, Doug Evans with the coverage.
Well, Evans is on that thing like he's inside the 49er huddle listening to the play.
Good defensive scheme. I think they were thinking they would go to Jerry Rice. Evans had good possession because he knew he had deep help.
Evans makes a break on that football almost quicker than Jerry Rice.
49ers in this half, 5 possessions, every one of them ending with a punt. Tommy Thompson to kick it away. Desmond Howard pulls it in at the 14. Takes it back to the 19-yard line. Tackled there by Junior Bryant with 2:25 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, this is why you play the game if you're an offensive player. To get the ball in this situation, you have all of your timeouts remaining. You get a chance to get after it.
Bill Walsh, I think, walking the sidelines. Couldn't take it in the press box. He was up here for most of the game, is now on the sidelines.
How do you keep those juices from flowing?
First down, Green Bay. They have all of their timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. And Favre throws, and it's incomplete. He tried to get it into Antonio Freeman, who was covered at that point by Lee Woodall. Second down.
And Favre had enough trouble trying to get away from Dana Stubblefield.
Yeah, Favre has had some drops tonight.
That's one of the reasons that Brett, and it's incredibly uncharacteristic for him to complete less than 50% of his passes. In fact, the only time in the last several years he completed less than 50% of his passes was in the monsoon Monday night game in Chicago 2 years ago, a game he still won. 2nd and 10, and that's picked off, intercepted by Marquez Pope, and the 49ers have a first down at the Green Bay 13-yard line.
We're talking about a good read. Pope, who had coverage, but he had double coverage, had deep man zone behind him. Well, he just read it perfectly.
But he's throwing it to a rookie, Derek Mays. And Frank, I want you to look at the route that Mays runs, and it's a real soft. Watch this route by Mays, Frank. Tell me what you think.
He does not go for the ball for one.
No, look at that. Now, Derek Mays, as a receiver, has got to make a better break to the inside than that.
Marquez Pope, who has to keep reading about how vulnerable he is.
Yeah, what's that? His 4th interception of the year.
In the last 5 games. A full take that from the 12-yard line. Derek Lavelle to the 11-yard line.
Well, when Marcus Pope came last year, he came as a safety, had been playing safety and was moved to the corner.
Meanwhile, Green Bay now wants to take its timeout here. And then the clock will stop again at the 2-minute warning. They're already, in effect, conceding at least a field goal and figuring, okay, we're down by 3, and we'll conserve as much time as we can when we get the ball back.
And on that interception, we can go all the way back to the first play of the game when the Green Bay Packers lose Robert Brooks. I don't know that Derek Mays is the guy you wanted to have to go to in this situation.
Well, he was the read. You almost have to go with the read, and he did not follow his slant here, but it was played perfectly by Pope, who had coverage behind him. He was perfectly safe.
Here's Robert Brooks, the first play of the game. He got his right foot way out in front of him, strained his knee, and immediately we were told he wouldn't play tonight, so there's some severity to it. Sure, there'll be some tests tomorrow that'll give Mike Holmgren and this team a better example, a better idea rather, of how long it'll be.
Bert Shermer sending out defensive instructions on 2nd down and 10 from the 12-yard line. The clock will stop after this play for the 2-minute warning. It is Derek Lavelle. He takes it to the 10. When play resumes, it'll be 3rd and 7. And the 2-minute warning comes officially with 1:59 to play in the 4th. 3rd down and 8 now for the 49ers at the Green Bay 10-yard line. Jeff Wilkins ready to kick a field goal if necessary. He'd prefer an extra point, obviously.
No, I think we can count on that.
Yep. 3rd down, 8 from the 10. And they're just going to settle for a field goal attempt with Gerbach simply moving the ball to between the hash marks and setting up a Wilkins attempt. And now Green Bay will take a timeout here to conserve the clock. 1:54 remaining, and they have one timeout, which that's a most interesting and a very uncharacteristic 49er call right there.
That's a lot of time.
That is extremely conservative. That's extremely conservative by the 49ers with this much time remaining in the ball game. Just going right in between the 2 hash marks to give him a spot in the middle. That's you see that in college football, but there's going to be a lot of time.
The middle's not that big a deal anymore since they moved those hash marks in a few years ago. They could have run some seconds off that clock very easily.
I'm sure I'm not tempted to loft one into the corner of the end zone and let Jerry go up for it. Or you got J.J. Stokes, a huge receiver on the other side at 6'4".
Instead, they're going to opt for a 3-point attempt. Gerbach to hold. Wilkins from this range has been perfect in his NFL career.
Of course, nobody ever retires perfect.
No. 28-yard attempt. Straight through.
So the drama thickens.
There's some football left to be played here at Lambeau.
A minute 50 and one timeout at the Packers' disposal.
And the ever dangerous Don Beebe on the receiving end of this kickoff.
Having a career night.
And ran one back 90 yards last week against the Bears. Looks like a pitching wedge mowing right through that grass.
So the 49ers go up by 3. They go home after the game and then have Cincinnati next week in San Francisco. Then they go to Houston and to New Orleans. So a relatively soft schedule until they meet Dallas on the 10th of November. And again, Steve Young not playing tonight. 3rd week in a row he's been off with the groin injury. And if they can come into Green Bay against the hottest team in the league on the road on a Monday night and without Steve Young and win the game.
The Packers
49ers.
Packers have a bye next week. Holmgren gets on his Harley and goes.
Kickoff taken at the goal line by Don Beebe. And the 49ers with terrific coverage, but somehow Beebe with a Houdiniac takes it out to the 18-yard line. Nolan Cromwell, the special teams coach, watched Beebe break a Curtis Buckley tackle and take it at least from the 10 out to the 18 to give them some space.
There's an appropriate piece of music. The Stadium PA. Hi-O Silver is exactly what they need.
A great setting.
The William Tell Overture.
Ball on the 18.
But you guys knew that, didn't you?
Absolutely. I just wasn't going to tell. See that apple on top of Frank's head from the 18-yard line. This is Henderson making the catch over the middle up to the 25. Again, the Packers have only one timeout at their disposal. 2nd and 2 at the 25. The tight end, but it's dropped by Keith Jackson up at the 39-yard line. Flag is down at the 29. And Jerry Markbright.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 31, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Steve Israel.
It's not that terrible a penalty.
We have an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on number 39, 15 yards.
That is.
5-yard penalty, and he's disqualified.
Whoa! Oh, that's a terrible penalty. And Jerry said 39.
There is no 39.
I think
he might have meant 31.
He might have meant Israel.
The 5-yarder was not that big. That's colossal.
I did not see him push an official. It obviously has something to do what he said to the official.
Well, Jerry will come back on here, I would assume.
Both penalties will be enforced.
Whoa, that's 20 yards.
20 yards of penalties, and one of your dime backs in a dime back situation is thrown out of the game. They move it up to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 45. And it's hauled in by who else? Don Beebe.
Boy, how do you...
I don't know, but Beebe's having a career night.
Sure is.
I don't have all the Buffalo stats. He had some great nights and great days with Buffalo, but this is truly remarkable performance by Don Beebe.
It's 198 receiving yards for Beebe tonight.
Maybe not all that tall, 5'11", but he has that great speed. You have to respect it.
1st down, 44-yard line. San Francisco leading by 3. Barr directing traffic and throws, and it is caught at the 36-yard line. It's Don Beebe again.
What a gun.
Beebe catches a Beebe.
And a Beebe it was. Again, it's beautiful to watch. Brett Favre in motion, directing traffic, but when he releases it, boy, that's beautiful.
Almost a flick of the wrist, isn't it? With so much on it. And a super catch by Beebe, because that was smoking.
He gains 9.5 seconds in inches. Beebe up and over 200 yards tonight from the 35.
The 49ers coming, yep.
They give it to Levis. He gets the first down. He takes it to the 33. So right now they're looking at a 50-yard field goal if they don't get another yard.
Boy, that one came close to blinking all the way. You get caught in the blitz, and you get that quick pop. So close.
Chris Jackie, who's been efficient from 50 yards in his career, and he's looking at a 50-yarder if they don't gain another yard, but they do gain some here as Desmond Howard makes the catch at the 25-yard line. Now you're looking at a 42-yard field goal. There's Jackie.
He stops the clock. And this is a good catch by Howard here, because this ball's back behind him a little bit. He's got to make the adjustment on this football, and does. Watch Desmond Howard here. He's going to make his break to the sideline, wanting the ball in front of him, but it's back behind him. He's got to rotate around and hold on to the football and slide out of bounds.
Yeah, and I think that was Frankie Smith in there where Steve Israel should have been.
Second down, 2 at the 25-yard line.
They got to watch out for holding calls here.
Barr stepping up, has the first down. Hold down at the 14 and says, give me a timeout.
Plays it like a linebacker, doesn't he? He's no hook sliding for Favre, but he was looking for the end zone.
Yep.
And Mike Holmgren going to the play sheet. What do I have for a situation like this? Because right now he's got to be thinking about getting into the end zone. I don't think that he's going to settle for a field goal to tie this up. They're going to take a shot or two at the end zone.
Packers have just used their final timeout. 30 seconds remaining in the fourth.
And here was the quarterback that was nearly whacked out of the game in the first half. We thought he might have been gone for the night. Looked dazed, came back in.
That was
put on quite a show.
That was Ken Norton that got all the way down there and put the hit on him. Well, this game started off a little sloppily in the beginning. Was not sharply played by either team. But boy, they're finishing this thing up like the heavyweights they are.
Pack out of timeouts, first down. Walsh, who's watched the entire game from upstairs on the field in the waning moments. First and 10 from the 13. Favre in traffic, tries to throw it away and does. Chmura says, I was held. The official said you weren't.
And Brett Favre is still down on the ground, and he looks like he's hurt.
Apparently falling on his right elbow, and if he needs an injury timeout here, he'll have to come out of the game. And Jim McMahon, so sparingly used in the last 2 seasons, will have to come in.
Again, he takes a shot to the face and then is just hammered right into the turf.
Oh, he might have had the wind knocked out of him. He landed heavily with no chance of protecting himself.
But he's going to have to stay. He will stay in the game with the play clock down to 5. And on second and 10, Favre throws, and that's incomplete with 17 seconds remaining. So now you're in a position, you've got a third down, and if you throw underneath and can't stop the clock, you run the risk of not being able to kick a game-winning field goal or a game-tying field goal at this point.
And they will not do that.
No, because they can't run their field goal team out in time.
No.
So if there's no stoppage of the clock,
the other disaster is a sack.
He has no choice but to loft this into the end zone. Of course, that's fraught with peril.
Yep.
The 49ers realize it.
He will be careful with it.
Third down and 10. Levens in motion. And Favre throws, nobody home except the band, and so Jackie will come in to try to tie it and send it into overtime.
They could have really used the timeout left in that situation. Being out really handicapped them on third down. And Brett Favre showed more than a small measure of toughness staying in there after taking that shot, being driven into the ground hard.
Now the 49ers will take a timeout as Chris Jackie gets set to kick what will be a game-tying 32-yard field goal.
Well, it was a pretty decent drive by the Packers, but the 20 yards plus the stoppage of the clock, courtesy of Steve Israel and his penalties and ejection, really helped a lot.
Craig Hendrick will hold it. Frank Winters will snap. And it will be a 31-yard attempt.
Yes, sir.
And with 8 seconds remaining, we're tied again.
Well, we talked about it when San Francisco didn't take a shot at the end zone and was very quick to settle for a field goal that would give them a 3-point lead, knowing there was 1 minute and 55 seconds left for the Green Bay Packers. This is what could have happened to them and did. They got tied.
There's Steve Israel. He provoked that additional 15 yards and was ejected from the game.
I'm surprised he's still on the bench. Normally when a player is ejected from a game, he has to leave the field. Maybe number 39 left the field. Jerry Markbright originally called number 39. There is no such player on the 49er roster.
Which is probably why Israel saw the bench.
Yes, sir.
Hendrick to kick it off. The clock starts when a 49er touches it. Right there. Dropped and picked up by Derek Deese. And he takes it up to the 33-yard line. So the 49ers have time for one more play. In all probability, a kneel down. And then the next critical call will be by the 49ers, heads or tails.
And that so often is the critical call. Very quiet night, no wind.
So we've played 60 minutes, and the two heavyweights of the NFC are dead even. The 49ers won the toss for overtime, so they will receive crouch standing Craig Hendrick to kick and Dexter Carter to run it back. So here we go, overtime in Green Bay. Carter from the goal line. Back up to the 22-yard line. Roderick Mullen makes the tackle. In overtime, first team to score wins. It's sudden death. They can play a maximum of 15 minutes. And each team has 2 timeouts.
And by and large in overtime, you're only allowed 1 mistake. Normally the first mistake ends up costing you the ball game.
This is the 6th overtime game of the season in the National Football League. The previous 5 have been determined by field goals. From the 23, a busted play, and Anthony Lynn takes the handoff and brings it out to the 24. So an ignominious beginning to the OT for the 49ers, but they get away with it. Second down, 9 from the 24-yard line. Terry Kirby back in the game. He was shaken in the fourth quarter. He takes the swing pass and is tackled immediately up at the 25, setting up a third down, and Butler and Williams in on the tackle.
Boy, and Elvis gets planted by Reggie White.
I think what the Green Bay defense has just about taken Jerry Rice and J.J. Stokes out of this game here in the second half. Quarterback has looked to them, but they've been drawing double coverage. Somehow they've been able to do it and get away with it.
I think by and large, guys, the coverage that we've seen from both teams' secondaries has really been good. Been good stuff.
Third down, 7 from the 25-yard line. Four-man rush. Gerbach floats one. A pass that is incomplete. Juggled at the 34-yard line. Stokes never had control of it, then went out of bounds. Fourth down.
And he had it dropped right on his hands. A good throw by Elvis Gerbach. Just not able to pull it in. Gerbach put it where he had to, outside. Can't be picked off there. Stokes not able to control it.
Stokes hasn't caught a pass in 2 games.
He was thinking about staying in bounds, not concentrating enough on the ball just on his fingertips.
Stokes shut out tonight, and Rice, after a tremendous first half, only 1 catch in the second. Tommy Thompson to punt it. Desmond Howard to run it back. Short kick. Fair catch called for at the 44. So the Packers will start near midfield.
And that punt was really close to being blocked, wasn't it?
Yep, by Eugene Robinson.
Yep.
He thought he had it.
That was Gerbach's reaction on the Stokes pass. And here's the near block by Robinson.
The snap was to the right and took Thompson to the right, and Thompson ends up kicking it almost right into the hands of Eugene Robinson. And whoa, how close he came to getting that.
He did. I think he was also concerned, Dan, of rough running into him, whether he was going to get it or not. He went to the side instead of straight through the foot.
First down from the 44-yard line, and the pass is incomplete, and they got away with one there. Beebe going one way and the pass going the other. Coverage by Drakeford.
Where they got lucky there is that Drakeford was playing Beebe, not the football. He didn't see the ball.
You were so right. Again, a timing pattern, and you can't suspect that maybe the Beebe and Favre have worked on all of these things as much as certainly he would have worked with Robert Brooks, who was injured early in the game and had to leave.
Drakeford never saw the football. If he could have seen it and reacted to it, he might have got it.
Second and 10 at the 44-yard line. Freeman in motion. They keep it on the ground. It's Levens to the 47, setting up a third down and 7. We played 1 minute and 50 seconds of overtime.
Chris Jacke, the field goal kicker for Green Bay, has a career best of 54 yards, but again, that was indoors against Detroit.
Well, here we have a 3rd and long. What are the odds of Brett Favre being on the move here, trying to make something happen?
Third down and 7. He's going to drop straight back and find the open man, Beebe over the middle. First down at the 40-yard line.
I mean, this is a game of a lifetime for Don Beebe. With a little move, he had man coverage by Drakeford, who's done a good job on him for the most part tonight. Beebe came right into his face, giving him a little look to the outside. He'll look over his right shoulder, freezes Drakeford. He goes with it, steps to the inside. He's wide open.
Third biggest night in Packer receiving history for Beebe. 220 yards, 11 catches. Short flip, 4-yard gain, ball caught by Derek Mays. Chris Jacke, and it figures to be up to him shortly. At least right now they are headed in that direction. If they don't gain another yard, he'd have an opportunity from 52 yards. Second down and 5. Meanwhile, Favre closing in on 400. Brett has thrown for 395 in the game. Wasn't picked off by Pope after Norton buries him.
That was a well-executed blitz by the 49ers. As Pete Carroll is wont to do, he will come after you. And Brett Favre took a shot, and that ball had nothing on it. It floated down there, and Pope just not quite able to get to it. You can see Norton actually makes contact with Favre. He can't follow through. And Pope just has it bounce off his left forearm.
Favre's 60th pass of the night, a Green Bay record. 3rd and 5 from the 35. Blitz again. Favre on the run. Being chased. Throws. Incomplete. So now if they want to bring Jackie in, you're looking at a 53-yard field goal attempt.
Again, his best was 54 yards, but it was off artificial surface. This is natural grass. You tend to lose a little with that.
50 plus in his career, second best percentage in NFL history.
The wind doesn't seem to be much of a factor. The ribbons on the goalpost barely moving.
53 yards to win the game. Hentrick puts it down.
Oh, yes.
The kick long enough and good.
That was good for 60.
Frank, your initial analysis, I have to agree with. This might have been good from 60.
It's still going up.
Yep. That did not just barely clear the crossbar.
The Packers dominate the first quarter. The 49ers dominate the second quarter. Green Bay erases an 11-point deficit to tie it at the end of regulation. And they win it in OT on a 53-yard field goal by Chris Jackie. Longest field goal ever to win an overtime game.
Always happens on Monday night, doesn't it?
Yes. Big build-up, hell of a game.
Two heavyweights. You said that earlier, Al. That's so true. They'll be there in the playoffs.
Well, they'll be there in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that for each of these teams. Will they be here for the NFC Championship game?